Hello and welcome to another video review. This is Alien Carnage, also known as Halloween Harry for DOS. This is a side-scroller developed by Interactive Binary Illusions and Sub-Zero Software, and it was published by Apogee back in 1993 as Halloween Harry. And they decided that that name was too seasonalized and that they needed to change it, otherwise it would hurt their sales, so they changed it to Alien Carnage, which was released in 1994. And they're the same game, but Alien Carnage had some of the levels switched around and changed, and it didn't have the Halloween connotation to it. But it is the same game, so if you ever see Halloween Harry, that's Alien Carnage, and if you ever see Alien Carnage, that's Halloween Harry. Now, the graphics are pretty typical of the time period. Sprites are decently enough done, the environments look fine, animations are fluid enough for the time period, and really, the art style itself is where it both succeeds and fails. It fails because some of it's not as well drawn as others parts of it, and then it succeeds because it just gives off this kind of over-the-top cartoony feel to it, and that's really what you kind of get from this game. It is a very cartoony, comic bookish style of game, and really that works pretty well for it. So overall, while the graphics aren't anything to write home about, the art style does work pretty well. Now, the sound design is a little bit different of a story. First off, you have the music, which is actually pretty good, especially for the time period. It comes in nice and clear. It's got this kind of nice comic book, cartoonish action score to it, and it works really well for the game. And, I mean, obviously the menu songs are a little bit better than the in-game songs, because they tend to be just kind of remixes of each other. But anyway, the sound effects are really what brings it down, because there's no voice acting, so you don't have to worry about that. But the sound effects themselves are really wimpy, and I mean they don't come in very clear. They're kind of this almost a PC speaker sound to them. They're really not, but they sound almost like that. And basically what happens there is that you just feel like all the sound effects just don't work as well as they should. And I mean, it's not that they're the worst you'll ever hear. It's just that they don't work as well as they could. I mean, when stuff explodes, you don't feel like it sounds awesome or anything. When it just explodes, and you're just like, oh, okay, it exploded. But really, the sound design was just put in there to work. I don't guess it was made to really wow anybody, but it does work pretty well. Now, gameplay is what really counts here, because the story is kind of pointless, and it really just does nothing but to set up the gameplay. You play as Harry, and he's going in to stop these aliens from turning people into mindless zombies because they're attacking Earth and this kind of stuff. And occasionally he'll get messages from his handler Diane via these booster discs, which are ironically floppy disks. I find that kind of amusing, but anyway. The basic gameplay is a standard platform game with a jetpack involved and all sorts of different weapons. And you can only shoot left to right, which is a little bit annoying because in a lot of games that are better than this, in terms of platform games, you can shoot in all directions, which is really nice, like Contra, for instance. But anyway, the actual gameplay is you go and you rescue the hostages, and when you've rescued all of them, the elevator door opens and you can go to the next level. That's pretty much the gameplay in a nutshell. I mean, you'll have this flip switches to open different passageways and stuff like that, but that's the gameplay in a nutshell. And the problem is the levels can get pretty labyrinthine. So unless you draw them down or you know what you're doing, then you're kind of screwed, because you'll get lost all the time. You'll run out of flamethrower fuel, which in turn means you run out of jetpack fuel. So then you can't get anywhere, and you're just kind of like, well, crap. So basically, the gameplay revolves around that jetpack, because to get to most places, you're going to have to fly. And there's an interesting speed difference here. When you're flying, you're extremely slow. Whereas, if you're running around on the ground, then you're pretty dang fast. So, it's an interesting speed difference, and I don't think a lot of people will get into that. But, the weapons choices themselves are a little bit varied, but they're nothing all that special. I mean, you got a photon gun, which shoots these weird plasma bolt things that don't do a lot of damage. You've got stuff like grenades, heat-seeking missiles, And then you have stuff like the micro nukes, which are pretty awesome, and the Omega, which annihilates everything on screen. And to get these weapons, you have to spend credits, which you get from killing monsters and zombies and all this kind of stuff. And that's a problem because the monsters keep respawning, and once you killed them once, they never give you another thing of credits, and you get 5 credits per kill. But everything costs 10 or 15, so except for fuel, which is free, luckily. But overall, you're going to be running out of ammo a lot because you'll keep running into these enemies, and you're kind of screwed. I mean, the food power-ups are fewer and far between than a lot of other games, so you're kind of screwed on that too, because you'll keep getting run over by these things or hit by spikes and that kind of stuff. But the level design is really what kills it, though, because the levels just, you get lost in them. But if you can put up with that, and if you're a platform game fan, I'd say check it out. But if you're not a platform game fan, this is not the one that will absolutely blow you away or get you into the genre. It's really for people who've played platform games before and know all the pitfalls. So, if you're into platform games, I'd definitely say check it out. If you're not, you might as well check it out. It's freeware now. I'm putting a link to the game in the video description box below. And, well, you can check it out at your leisure. It'll require DOSBox, but it runs perfectly fine in DOSBox. So, is it worth playing? Yes, if you're a platform game fan. If you're not, then probably not. But I do kind of like this game a pretty decent amount. But it could be a lot better, and it really should have been a lot better when they re-released it.